Call the meeting to order. It's 6:01. And if we can get roll call, please.
Mr. Markovitz?
Here.
Mr. Sharma?
Here.
Mrs. Wales?
Here.
All right. So after that, it's time for public participation. If we have anybody here that wants to talk to the board about anything not related to the cases we have tonight, this is your time to come up and speak. No? Okay. So we'll go on to our first case, which is Case 24-10-55, it's at 9224 Delro Road, units N, O, and P, smoke outlet window signage. So if you could go through what you're doing and why you want to do what you're doing real quick.
So those are the window signs that whatever products we are keeping in that store, that's one of the products, window signs. We put it on each windows that we have. It's cover less than 30%.
Excuse me, sir. Can you announce your name and your address?
Sure, my name is Kevin Patel, and the address is 9224 Dare Road, Unit NOP, Twinsburg, Ohio 44087.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we got information on the signs and pictures, and the signs are already up in the window.
That's correct.
With, I guess, what, there's 6 neon signs that you put up. And then it looks like you've also run some LED string lights around all the edges of the windows.
So I have that, but I don't start that because when we met last time, like first time when I was here, I was not sure if I have that permission or not, so I don't turn that on.
Okay.
But just to get the permission this time, I turn it on and take a pictures. So I make sure that I have all kind of signs on the window.
Okay. And as a note, the sign program at that center does not allow for illuminated signs in the windows. So without the sign program allowing that, if the owner says they don't care, that doesn't matter because the sign program does not allow for illuminated signs in the windows out there.
So on each window we are talking about, or the border?
Did you get a copy of this?
No.
You can have my copy. I have an extra. This is the sign program from your landlord. Yes. Yeah. So this is the guidelines that they present to us to set up precedents that all of the signs should follow these rules. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that would apply for any signs in the window. I don't know.
Neon sign or just like any kind of sign?
Any kind of lit sign that is on the window surface.
So not even open sign?
Have the signs inside the space back on a wall or something. I don't know if there's any limitations to how close you can have them to the window. I mean, sometimes, I don't know, does the city have any restrictions? I don't know of any.
Usually, like when
if
we have like on the stores, we always have like open signs or neon signs here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we never had an issue.
Open sign, I can understand that, but you got 4, 6, or 5 of the
Correct.
signs.
Yes.
The other thing I was trying to get to, I don't know if there's restrictions from building just like a screen wall 3-4 feet away from the window and hanging it there so they're still visible from the window. But when you start putting lighted signs right at windows, it gets too distracting for drivers. It can get too bright, it can get, it just becomes a distraction and can be a hazard at times if they get too bright. But the main thing is, the center doesn't have any, it doesn't have any set thing or anything in their sign program that allows it.
I think it's,
So-
yeah, it's
What-
just vinyl graphics,
Yeah.
not lit.
Yeah, you can have vinyl graphics, and then there's restrictions to the percentage of the vinyl graphics per the window area. 20% or
It's-
25%.
The window area is 30%, and then their program does say vinyl signs are allowed, but they would have to meet under the 30%, and
Right.
also the total sign square footage for the front of the building.
So the landlord never gave you any of this information?
No, or else I would not buy it and put it.
Yeah,
I mean, when I put it, she saw it so many times, but she never said, hey, you can't put those signs or anything. Until you guys told her, then she's emailing me that, hey, I'm getting this from the city, you might want to take it down.
She was made aware, she attended the meeting and was part of the whole discussion and everything, so.
it was not even that long ago, less than
Were
6
you,
months.
yeah, it
Signed
was,
in January, right here, this year.
Yeah.
This year,
and I
okay.
think that was when, I might not be remembering this right, but I think y'all's sign, initial sign that you have up there was one of the reasons that the new sign program was revised and reworked. Because the sign, I think y'all wanted to put up initially, it was too much for the site, too big, and I think this, we ended up getting with the owner, having this program reworked for that initial signage. That y'all, am I right in that, or?
No, you're correct.
It was one of the, I know it was
Is that the
recent.
one?
When did y'all moved in around the first of the year, right?
We moved in I think, end of the March of this year,
Okay.
end of the March.
Well, y'all might not have been the one I'm thinking about.
No, there were, because the sign was installed before they moved in.
Yeah, but they were trying to put the signs, and we were trying to go
The
to
signs
back
were
and
installed
forth.
before approval from you guys. And then they changed their sign program, and then it came here, and you guys approved the sign that they submitted with the channel letters and the writing up there.
Okay. I-
Which was over the square footage already.
Yeah.
Right.
So is what we're saying that these neon signs could be back in the store, but they can't be right in the window? Is
They're
that
not allowed to be in the
bottom
window.
line?
Like, they're not allowed to be in the window. I don't know how far from a window a sign has to be. I could look into that. That's never been brought up before, and I haven't ever read an ordinance that says
Wasn't
anything like
there-
that.
I don't know if it was the bin store or one of those stores that was in there where Acme used to be.
Where they had the cat on the,
They put some kind of, yeah, they had a wall behind the window with that big image up there.
Yep.
And that caused some issues too, wasn't it?
yeah, I don't believe we were able to make them take it down until they moved out.
Yeah, but there's a difference between having an image versus a neon sign. So, it's,
Big difference.
yeah. I mean, we can take a vote on it. I can make a
Okay.
motion, if that's okay with you guys, don't have any questions.
Unless you have any other things you want to throw in about.
Not really, I just, I might, so if we get the permission from the landlord, is it possible or still not possible?
Well, she did sign giving you permission to do it, but it goes against the, own sign program.
So,
She needs to follow her own sign
And-
Or
program.
represent a new sign program that
so
allows
if
it.
she represent the new one, then it might be allowed, right?
But she has to present
Well,
it.
it might, but there's, the city also has some restrictions on lit signage and windows too, right? On how much it could be. Isn't there some,
I'm not
Not sure.
confident on the answer, so I can look into that as well.
okay. I think there are some city regulations on signage. I know there's been issues, even with, LED signs out on the street, and how they read, in the, is the library the only one we have of that? And it had to be very low light, not bright, it had to be, I can't remember what the illumination was, but there were some guidelines on what it could be. I don't know if that relates to the same as a window sign as far as, brightness and colors that can be used in it, because the library sign I know is pretty much one color. It's not multicolors.
Okay.
So,
We have a motion?
but, yeah, go ahead and make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve case as submitted. May I have a second?
Second?
Mr. Sharma?
No.
Mrs. Wales?
No?
Mr. Markovitz?
No. So what that means is you, basically, since we rejected it, you know, that for now, the signs will need to come down. You can discuss it with the landlord if they want to try to rework the sign program to allow that in some way, and it meets the city requirements and, you know, all of that, then, you know, it could possibly get approved, maybe. I mean, just to let you know from my own opinion, I think it's way too much signage in the windows, too bright, too much going on, you know, and it's, you know, I mean, I don't like the look of it the way it is, so I would not like it much, you know.
That's fine, but I can do the open sign though, right? For the window?
The open sign?
Open sign is not that bright too, I mean, you can check when you
Yeah,
have time.
the open sign should be okay, because I know other people have it in there.
In neon?
I don't know if we've ever approved any of them, you know, from our, I don't know if our board has actually looked at, can you put just the open sign there?
I mean, I see mostly business are like with the open signs, so.
If you're going to do the open sign, it has to be hardwired into, for the electrical purposes. Okay.
It has to be harder, so you can't run an extension cord to it.
Correct.
you're saying,
I
Okay.
have like wire on top though.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys.
Okay, have a good evening. Take care. Okay, the next case coming up, I gotta make sure I get all my stuff together, will be case 24-10-56. It's at 8275 Darrow Road, and it's got to do with Maplewood at Twinsburg ground signage. What did I do with that piece of paper you gave me? So if you could, you know, tell us your name and go through what you want to do, and then,
Debbie Kuhar with Ellett Sign, and the sign location is at 8275 Darrow Road.
okay.
And what is there? I
Okay, now,
know to check this one out. Senior living, okay.
can
So
you,
we have, we had an existing sign there previously before Pet Suite built out their location. My
Okay.
client has almost like a Big Dipper of property, a very long, narrow parcel, and then it goes around.
In the back.
What happened is that we had a 6-foot, 2-inch sign by 4 feet, 10-inch width. And I'd like to show you so that you could see what it previously looked like.
in this, that sign
That
was on
that was
the
there
corner by
that was
Pet
there
Suite?
previously.
Okay,
And then when Pet Suite had their ground monument, we were going to go underneath it. And there was a conditional use on that for that sign to be, but it was also in the same area that the address was going to be located. So it was Pet Suite sign. And again, I hate to
Oh, that's okay.
Do you have anything else you're going to hand out?
but it really does help from a visual standpoint if you guys could see.
I don't need it again.
So what was submitted?
this is in that spot now,
Yeah,
or, okay.
Do you guys want this back or need this back?
Please give it back. Okay.
Okay. And this is, so let me make sure I know. This is where you were going to put your sign, where theirs is right now?
Well, yeah, and I'm going to pass
Okay.
one more, and I
That's where I
apologize.
think,
Any more to hand out?
if I understood it right, that sign.
Thank you.
Their old sign was where that sign now is. Because
Okay.
Pet Suites took that spot since it was, I guess,
So
their
what was
property.
submitted, and I wasn't going to go down this route, but this has been already a year? Almost two. So I just want to refresh some of what happened. So then it was submitted with and it was approved with a conditional use to have that sign to go up underneath there, but then it was conflicted with the address that needed to go up under Pet Suite. So from a fire marshal standpoint, they need to see the address if
Yeah.
they're trying to get to the site. And our permit expired. So then then we had a changeover with person involved, Keith, no longer here. So
Correct, he was the former building commissioner.
yeah, so then it became that they wanted this to be in another location. So they wanted to go up against the tree line. So instead of it being, yes, and I have a superimposed one too as well, but maybe it's better just to look at this. And probably be better just to approach.
So
them
you're
with
just
it.
essentially.
Yeah, we can,
You can put it on the table there and the board
Yeah,
members
that's
can
fine.
come
Okay,
in.
very good.
We can-
Is your sign going on their land?
Pardon?
it's,
Is it a common area?
So it's actually, I'm Tony Giuffre with the owner.
Hi.
Owner of Pet Suites, we were the developer as well, yeah. So what we decided to do, instead of putting it, as you can see on the right, that yellow portion where Maplewood actually owns that property, we decided to move it down towards the actual intersection. Yes, right there.
Yeah.
And that's where you guys originally wanted us to do it, Maplewood wanted it. It's
Yeah.
on our property, so all we have to do is put together an easement. So, I mean, after getting the approval from Twinsburg and Maplewood, that's kind of where we landed. And I think that is the best location ultimately, because it's kind of confusing if it's pushed towards further away from the actual drive that it's addressing. And this is the
this is the street, though, Enterprise is what goes down.
Yep. Yep.
So that's still,
So it's gonna say
even that
drive to
where
where
it
Lake
was,
Turn,
was
right?
still the bar, I'm surprised.
Still gonna say.
It's from where the sign location is, from where Pet Suite sign is to where this new sign is going to be along the tree line, there's 200 feet in between.
And this-
That's a lot.
Yeah, and this
And-
is the final, after almost a humorous amount of time. The wording that we came to, was straight ahead, turn right at light.
That's
I
it.
mean, the amount of, I don't even want to go through it, but that's what we decided with Maplewood.
And it's gonna be less square footage than what their original sign was that got taken down.
There's the original sign that was out there before Pet Suites was in the, or did it say turn right or anything?
Yeah.
You have a sign out,
No, it didn't.
and
Okay.
you would have a driveway right onto Darrow, right? But
That's-
you don't have, you're down Enterprise Parkway to get into you.
Maplewood, yes.
So what is this, where's Pet Suites?
So this is Pet Suites.
Okay, and what is this?
This is just
Another,
businesses.
Novak Insurance is here.
So you really
So,
couldn't put a sign
no,
for you there, it would have to be.
It would have to be, and it needs to be as close, the leading edge of Pet Suite sign is where we want to be at, over here by the tree line.
As close as you can.
As close to the traffic light. Because what we don't want to do is we don't want to create a traffic flow issue where people come in here, because that's their parcel,
Yeah.
where the sign could go.
And another layer to this too,
And that
Maplewood
would-
owns this drive.
Yeah,
So So
Oh,
we have,
this is
They,
dragging?
yes,
Yeah, but it
like
goes
a,
to
like
the-
a, like a,
Oh.
like a.
so it's better if it's past this because we don't want
Yeah.
people turning down, going up. This
I
is just,
see.
this is just like a dirt road.
Will you be able to see the sign coming this way?
You should be able to.
We should be able to see it. We have, we're gonna talk
Oh,
with,
actually, that side.
Residential houses.
Backside, you went too far, I mean.
That's right, I'll present that.
Actually, right when you see it from that side, you drove too far.
So
What's
the
the
other,
other side of the sign will have to say.
it just doesn't have that
Right,
portion.
or something, yeah.
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 And this is really, we need to keep it simple. Maplewood, here's where to go. For those people, I'm of age, and you rely on your eyes, you know, you can't back up traffic and slow it down just in order to
Yeah.
see where you're going. So we just need to make it simple so that people know that the light is coming up is where they need to turn.
So you have no
Keep it
signage.
straight ahead, can you just say turn right at light?
We had that at one point.
Well,
I'm just wondering.
we did.
Trying to let simplify that, yeah, because, I mean,
Instead of saying straight
Straight
ahead.
ahead suggests it's gonna be, I'm thinking if I'm driving and I think, okay, I need to look down that way.
Well,
But
and
you're
that's,
saying
and
just
that's
right
right.
at the light.
Well, we do need them to keep looking straight ahead because, and we want to draw out the traffic light because the traffic light is
What
where.
if it said right at next light? I am thinking,
We can do right at next light, it's just, it's gonna make it a little smaller.
yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think how,
Well,
what I would be taking if I.
well, I
were
would
to
just-
turn
I
Yeah,
would-
this was the
lights.
first edition.
Oh, I see, go to light turn.
Yeah, so we,
yeah. And this
So
one,
there's gonna be no signage.
this one's not
No.
too bad, except people, a lot of people don't know 400 feet from 5 feet.
Well,
But,
this really wasn't, and we weren't part of that, but this
Yeah.
really didn't make sense
This
either.
one, yeah, well, this, if you're coming this way,
This makes good sense.
maybe, yeah, I don't know, the 400 feet back would be if you're coming this way, and you see the sign, you gotta go back.
But it's
Which is
not
kinda
the
odd.
same.
Well, we wouldn't want to use
That's not
that.
gonna be-
Yeah,
You
no.
know,
What I'm trying to get at, I guess, is that, you know, you're not gonna put this on both sides.
that is correct. So what's going to be on
That's
the
why you
back
want
side is just going to say Maplewood. at
and we'll still have
Twinsburg.
their advertising.
And it'll actually have their
So you're not gonna
address,
do
that's
like
it.
that.
But people aren't gonna really see it. This is really what people are gonna see.
What building is this?
Oh, I should know that. I know a no-back insurance.
They won't let you put a sign.
I should know it too, because I've gone down that drive 100 times with my
Yes.
mother-in-law, and
It's-
Maplewood.
Yeah, I don't think it's, I don't know why they're giving an easement for a sign on their property. Because I think, it's easy here because we have an easement on their property, so now that they have an easement on ours, it's kind of a,
Also, that's your connection, it's just the easement.
Because of this, because this is
Yeah.
Maplewood.
so we have an easement right here, and now we're gonna give them an easement for their sign, it's kind of just, yeah. Yeah.
Right,
Being a good neighbor.
right. And there's 200 feet in between, so we're not gonna create a confusion where
Well-
people are coming into.
You're not gonna
that's-
block their sign either, driving this way.
That is correct,
That's
we are
the reason.
not.
I'm surprised they would be a good neighbor and let you put a sign there either. One sign right there, I'm surprised. Yeah, I would definitely so not be able to just put a sign right there.
Well, we talked to them.
Has anyone asked if you could put a sign right
No,
here?
because we were concentrating on what was going on. Remember, we went through a journey. We had a sign here on this property, and then we had another sign on this property. This permit had expired, and then they said the only thing they would allow is right here, a sign on the tree line.
Well, let's
Davey,
go with-
With the city, this is with Keith.
Yeah.
So right now, they
Yeah.
have this to approve,
Yeah,
and I think we should do that. And then at some later point, if it turns out Maplewood can get another sign that makes
Yeah.
sense for them.
sure.
Well, you wouldn't need this sign, if you have this sign.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to have it. So.
Right, but I'm saying
Well,
if you
what
have
we
it,
have
right,
right now,
you see what I'm
this is
saying?
the choice they have.
There's only a chance they have this moment,
Right.
but it would almost make sense to make a phone call. Put it right here. There's
Yeah.
looks like there's lots of space right there. I don't know why.
You would make You would have more pull than we.
You'd be surprised at how hard it is to do.
Yes,
I just was
it
driving
is.
down the street,
It
saw a
is.
meeting, I just joined. That's these guys. Justin, want to see what I'm talking about? Jason?
Oh, I
Justin,
I
what I'm talking
agree,
about?
but they're not here, and that's not anything we can do.
Yeah, we can.
Anything about
That might add another 2 years to this.
You think?
Yeah.
See that tree right
Yeah.
Put the sign right there.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Another issue is.
Yeah, so we've been functioning without a sign this whole time.
Okay, just right there.
The
There's certain, it's a variance.
His property.
And there's conditions.
Okay, so one of the, what's.
Yeah, I was just
No, that's
thinking.
what
I get the fact that you have that.
I'll present that to people and see if they want to do it after we get this done.
It was sitting on your, wait,
Just
Yeah.
when you even know sign, might as well, it's worth a call. Put it here, put it on that price. All right.
Okay, so,
Well, well, I have one dead tree here and when I say it's dead from, actually, I have a picture.
So what's the objection of, as opposed, if they're allowing the easement, what's
And
the
no,
objection
that
here?
is,
Or what's not the objection?
go ahead.
So it's the off-site premises location from the city's point that it has to be approved as a variance from you guys for the sign location.
okay, so,
And they have to meet, David will ask them the 3 questions and they'll answer them and they can respond to those and then you guys will vote on it.
We have
so
a
it sounds like they don't have,
And this is what it looks like.
variance would be
It's
appropriate
coming down.
because they don't
But it's
have
not on our
their own
property, and
access
it's
to the
not on
street.
their property. So it's no back.
That's for you guys, that's for you guys to decide.
I don't think it's gonna make it.
Well, I'm trying to
And this is
understand
right
what we
here.
would be.
It's like
The-
literally right in.
That it's not
Allowing
on their
them to
property.
Do you see the right
Use
here?
their
This is
property
my
for the sign.
Okay.
That's what I was.
Yeah, and this sign is gonna.
If you guys are okay with that?
Yeah, we can
It's gonna
send you guys
run
an easement
parallel
once it's
to
worked
here.
up. We're
Like,
waiting
so
for
it's on
this
the
meeting.
leading edge.
We can do that.
And that's where the tree's at. So that tree's
Once you
gonna-
grant easement, how long is it valid for? Or is that specified when you make
Our
it?
property, it's on Novak's.
That would be a legal question that I'm not,
If you ask me, I don't think it's gonna make it this winter.
So once you allow them to use
gotta remember,
your
this is
land
gonna
for a
add-
sign, can they use
Well,
it
we do,
for
we do.
how many years, or is it
This is the
forever?
tree.
I think it's forever.
For the-
It's forever.
But I don't
The
think
easement
it's
is
gonna
forever?
make it this
Yeah, just for
winter.
that.
When the, I believe.
Yeah, but that would be a legal question that I wouldn't feel comfortable answering on record.
Leaves are coming out. This-
We can
this
make
is
that a
gonna
condition
be
if you guys
more in
want
line
to
of
approve
sight.
I'm just curious. That was curiosity.
But yeah, I think it is forever, but I don't know that for sure.
And I was gonna make a call to this owner to offer to remove this tree for free off his property, just to see if he would do it after this meeting. Some decoration.
It wouldn't take much.
Now, to do this, it is,
So this is what we want to do.
And the variance is that it's not on their property.
And this sign right here is 24.
have you reviewed, should I just read all these conditions out?
Yeah, if you guys don't mind going back to the mics for this part, please.
And, yeah, I'm gonna read through the, no, I'll get over here real quick. I'll read through what the, there's some conditions to allow the variance to have the sign there that need to either be met or not cause any big problems. So just to read these real quick, there are special circumstances or conditions such as existing building, topography, vegetation, sign structures, and other matters on adjacent lots or within the adjacent public right-of-way, which would substantially restrict the effectiveness of the sign in question. Provided, however, that such special circumstances or conditions must be peculiar to the particular business. Is that the right word to use? Peculiar?
Yeah.
Okay. To the particular business or enterprise to which the applicant desires to draw attention and do not apply generally to all businesses are enterprises. One of the things with that, which kind of concerns me, but is that it's still, you know, which we had talked about, that I really think a better location would be at that intersection somewhere.
But they don't have access to
But you
it.
don't have access, and whether you can get it or not is a whole thing.
It's going to be a
is
really
a lot of-
uphill battle for us to
A
do
lot
at
of
this
effort to go
point.
through.
And we've already had a couple years into this without a
Yeah.
sign.
Okay. We talked about vegetation. The topography is pretty flat there, so I don't think there's any hills or anything that would be blocking the view.
I'm not in any right-of-way,
Yeah,
so
And,
my setback is right in alliance to code.
yeah, okay. Is there any other of these that you've looked at and you know you won't cause problems? I mean, that, on these particular first conditions I read?
Yeah, when we reviewed it, there
Yeah.
was no issues there.
No issue, yeah.
Okay, and then the next is that the variance would be in general harmony with the purposes of this sign code, and specifically would not be injurious to the neighborhood in which the business or enterprise to which the applicant desires to draw attention is located.
They meet that.
Yeah, I don't see where any of that would cause a problem for injury or anything. Unless somebody's walking across the grass there and looking backwards, they may walk into the sign, but, you know,
And whose
it's their fault.
Well, there's, just to let you know, there's 10 feet,
Yeah,
you know, from the sidewalk, so there's
Right, so there's
plenty,
good-
plenty of space.
Yeah.
It's not going to encroach on anything.
With that being said, we'd have to, you have to show that it's 10 feet from the right-of-way, not the sidewalk.
Okay.
Okay.
okay. Do you know where the right-of-way line is?
Yeah, we have it.
Actually, 10
Wait.
feet.
Surveys from our project that were just
Yeah.
taken a couple months back, so we have all that information. We have all the
Okay.
surveys and everything, so we can just verify that.
Okay. I mean, that won't be a problem with us, that'll just be with the
Sure.
city.
If anything, you're
making
probably
sure
going to
it's-
find out we're too far set back. We could actually
Yeah.
come up a little closer, because I think the last time we were 35 feet from the right-of-way.
Yeah.
Okay, the third is the variance is the minimum one necessary to permit the applicant to reasonably draw attention to his business or enterprise.
Sounds like you've gone through.
It's, yeah, it's not the minimum one,
Possibilities.
but I guess it's as close as you're gonna get right now. As I mentioned, the better would be on the corner if it could happen, but,
That's, yeah.
and then the fourth item is grant a variance subject to conditions. The ARB may grant a variance subject to any conditions which it deems necessary or desirable to make the device which is permitted by the variance compatible with the purposes of the sign code. Okay, so that's basically us.
Yeah.
Would you say with what we're presenting you right now, if we could show you that setback, would that meet your approval?
Probably, yeah. I mean, we'll all have to vote on it. I can't speak for the whole group yet, but the setback, you don't have to show that to us. You'll have to show that to the city, you know, that it does meet that 10-foot setback from the right-of-way.
You have to take two votes, right? One for the setback and
Conditions.
one for the variation, one for the sign.
You could put it together as a variance.
And basically, the compatible with the purposes of this sign code, that's referring to basically the right-of-way and the size of the sign.
Yeah,
and the
the
general-
chapter and the ordinances for all the signs.
Okay. All right.
I would,
Any problems with that? Other than that, we then need to talk about the sign itself to make sure we've
yeah, I
got
guess we've
that right.
focused on the location, and
Because most of our discussion was up at the table, so it might not have been picked up.
the sign looks standard and well-written.
No question
Yeah.
for the sign.
I'm good with
Pretty
that.
straightforward.
I'm okay, because we looked at it up there.
So the only thing is what the wordage, if we want to let it stay straight ahead, turn right, or
Well,
change it like you were saying to
yeah, whatever you guys decide
turn
on
right at light or.
words. Because it sounds like you've already gone through every iteration.
I was going to say, it sounds like they've gone over it and over and over and over.
Yeah, no, that's
This is
kinda what I
they came
was
up with.
thinking.
So if this is what they came up with after 48 million times,
And-
maybe
and
let them roll with it.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because
Right.
it actually came from Lynn, who actually gave us direction from the city of Twinsburg,
Okay.
who said less is more.
Yeah.
She said it
So
makes more
the-
sense to say straight ahead,
Right.
turn right at the light.
Okay.
Yeah, that gets kind of hard because it's really, you're going down, you got to go down Enterprise, but you're actually on Sussex, which is
Yeah.
way down another road off the end of the Enterprise. So it still could be a little confusing to somebody that's not familiar with the area.
And that's what we want them to do. Can you imagine, you're not from the area, right? And you're looking and you're thinking, okay, I've arrived, and they're looking for that. What do
Yeah.
I do next? So they're like, they see Maplewood, and they're like, oh, okay, I'm getting close. So now they're really
Siri
paying
will take them
attention.
I was going to say, Google
Yeah.
Maps has gotten pretty good
Right.
since this original
Everyone
sign.
is using Google Maps or whatever. Nobody's
Yeah.
going blind.
But I'm going to tell you, it's real world. It happens. If you're traveling from far away, somebody doesn't charge their battery, they don't have their charger
Right.
in the car, and their battery on their cell phone happens to go out while they're en route, they're really looking for signage.
Yeah. I mean, that's happened to me with GPS. It tells you
Sure.
you've arrived at your destination. You go, wait, where is it? I don't
And you're at a
see it."
park or somewhere where you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I would move that we accept this as presented today.
Without having to come back,
Well, you're gonna, with the variance, or the right-of-way,
I could submit
that's with the
that.
city, correct?
Okay.
Correct.
Would
So we-
you accept that electronically?
Yeah, you can upload it into your project, just showing
Okay.
the exact site plan and how far you are from the public right-of-way. And if you could include your easement or any paperwork that way, that we would have record of it too in the future. If this got brought up again, we could have that.
Did you make a motion?
I did,
I'll second
Oh.
that.
That was your motion?
yes.
Okay.
And Bryce seconded.
Mrs. Wales?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes. Okay, so you're done with us.
Oh,
So,
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
sorry to put you through so much, we just needed to make sure it's a,
Who drove 4 hours from Cincinnati.
Sorry, I was hoping my wife could tell me I could stay for the Bengals game, but
Oh.
it didn't happen.
Well, we thank you so much.
Thank you.
all right.
And then
And good luck,
I'll make
yeah.
sure to send that document on over and
Okay.
upload it. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good evening.
Let's see. I've lost all my papers. What's next? Just the, got to
Approval of
approve the minutes. So, any issues or questions on the minutes from October 3rd? Anybody?
No,
I didn't see
notice
anything.
anything.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mrs. Wales?
Yes.
All right. Any new business that we need or old business we need to discuss?
Do you guys want me to keep the signs on?
Keep what signs out?
Do you guys want me to keep the signs on and not present that motion, that ordinance? I suggested an ordinance to Dale and to Sam and to Matt, telling them, as far as the signs go, if the sign meets if the sign meets the plaza sign program and it meets the city requirements, why does it need to go through ARB if it already meets all those requirements? And if it meets the requirements, it seems like we always say yes. If it doesn't meet the requirements, it's an automatic, like tonight, it doesn't meet the requirements, no. It's like there's no thought to it. So Viraj thinks that it's a good idea to keep it here. So that's why I kind of want your opinion, because I asked them to write up that legislation. I just figured, it'd be faster for the people who want their signs. They don't have to wait a couple weeks necessarily, and then it's not, I don't want to waste anyone's time if it's not, you know what I mean? I don't want to waste your time to come here to just approve a sign that is automatically going to be approved anyways.
Yeah, but people have different variations of signs. Sometimes they just submit signs in different colors, different schemes. National recognized brands, are okay, but sometimes people just want to put whatever. I feel like 5 people, when they vote against it, they can just use a common sense. It's, 5 are better than 1, so.
I'm with Viraj on that. It's one more step in keeping Twinsburg beautiful, just another several sets of eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, and, one of our purposes is to look at the aesthetics and how it fits in, and even though a sign might meet, very rarely would it happen, but even though a sign might meet the requirements, there could be something about it that really just stands out with the size of one letter, the way something's done that I think
You're the
that,
expert. So I'll
could
tell you
really
what, okay.
make it not look right to fit that area.
Makes sense.
No
but
problem. I
the
thought
other-
you'd all be like, yeah, that makes sense. But since you all say no, then well.
We just don't get that many signs anyway. It's like every other week we'll get maybe 1 or 2 signs. I mean, it doesn't take that much time.
Okay.
But certainly like this one, where you have to do a variance and look more deeply into, takes time. But, usually like an hour for this meeting, and we usually never take an hour, ever.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. All right,
Okay.
that said,
Now we have to
Okay.
adjourn.
we gotta go to the next meeting.
Yeah. All right.
Let's go.
So we have one absent member that did let us know he was not going to be here. So we don't have to vote to excuse him, right? Isn't that what we determined?
Yes.
You make a motion to excuse the absent member.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to excuse Sam,
Excuse.
to excuse his excused absence.
Second. Yeah. I think-
Well, it's only excused once you make the motion to excuse it.
Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
Mrs. Wales?
Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes. All right. Nothing else?
Okay, I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right.
Don't,
Thank you, everyone.
don't run out just yet.
Ms. Wales?
I wanna get to that.
Yes.
Kathy Powers is waiting. I wanna get
Mr. Sharma?
Oh, okay.
Maybe. Yes.
Mr. Markovitz?
Yes.
Take